It signifies a funeral. Definitely not good for a deal when it's already dead before you started. Understands the culture of the police. Very difficult for you. That advantage is huge. Restricted to many industries. Great exit strategy in order to run happy wife, happy life. Cause a lot of problems. $12 million fraud. Merging business and personal is similar to mixing durian with pho. Not work. Kill the mood financial and ownership risk. Complicate many of the issues. Not trying to badmouth the Vietnamese working with the authorities. You depended on your partner. Your name is not on the paperwork nor the assets. In the worst case, you are left out in the cold and without a dime, protecting your business 100%. But your experience working with your Vietnamese spouse, here is some golden advice. So you plan to open up a company in Vietnam and the process has become so complicated. Either you give up or you decide you have a Vietnamese girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, or husband, and you decide to use them to open up the company for you. It's probably faster, cheaper, and easier to do. But is it really in your best interest? So now you're having somebody else take full responsibility, have legal control over the business on your behalf. What could really go wrong? So in today's video, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of teaming up with your significant other, either girlfriend, wife, or husband or boyfriend, in order to open a business in Vietnam. We'll use the word she because most of the relationships we see are between a foreign male and a Vietnamese female. So we'll use the word she. So the question I have to ask is she your golden ticket or your ticket to a roller coaster ride? We're going to share with you all the truths and all the big mistakes that many of our foreign clients have made in using their Vietnamese girlfriends or wives in order to do business in Vietnam. So that's the topic we're going to talk about today, so let's get started. Hello, my name is Ken Duong, international business immigration attorney with over 15 years of experience helping individuals and foreigners invest all over the world, especially with foreign direct investment in Vietnam and having foreigners work with local Vietnamese. We've set up companies for investments, joint ventures, retirement, and also to live an interesting life in Vietnam. Today, we're going to actually talk about specific relationships between a foreign investor and a local Vietnamese. So jumping into 2024, our goal at Duong Global is to hit 100,000 subscribers. So as you know, 70% of all our people watching this video are not subscribers, which means that we're not at the top of your recommendation or your suggestion list, and you're not getting notifications of our videos. So in order to get to 100,000, we only need less than 2 seconds for you to click subscribe to our channel. So now, back into the video. So, one of the cultural needs of having a local girlfriend or wife is that you will have better understanding of the local customs, procedures, and traditions of Vietnam. Because as a foreigner, it's very difficult for you to fully understand how things work here, especially the minor details of every deal and every meeting. A very prime example is if you go to a meeting and you give a yellow flower, even if it's a rose or anything else, it signifies a funeral, which is definitely not good for a deal when it's already dead before you started. And also how do you shake hands, women and men. We made another video about that in our cultural differences. You can click on the right hand corner to watch that video as well. So there are many cultural norms in Vietnam, especially if you're working in the different parts of the country, from the north, the central, and south. And of course, your Vietnamese girlfriend or wife will have better understanding, especially if she works in marketing or sales or market research and has roughly about 10 years or more of experience in the market itself. You'll get better understanding, such as when someone says yes or vâng or yeah, does it mean that they agree? Not necessarily. It just means that they confirm the information you said. Doesn't mean that they agree with you. Other examples would include working in teams or the hierarchy within a company. Who's at the top, who's at the bottom, who's in the middle. Is it horizontal, is it vertical? So this is something that Chef Chad shared with us in his video when we interviewed him. So you can click on the right hand corner for that full interview to see his experience working in in a business environment, but also in a restaurant type of environment where men, women of different ages and culture will work together. So make sure you watch that video to see why localization of your foreign business in Vietnam is necessary, and having that local spouse or girlfriend would really, really help you. So as I mentioned before, working with government bodies or government officials, the majority of them do not speak English, nor are they comfortable speaking English. Therefore, having a native Vietnamese speaker on your side, such as a girlfriend or wife, will be really, really helpful. They will be able to work with the authorities, translate on your behalf, but also understand the culture as well. This also translates to working with employees. I mean, as a multinational or foreign company, you can hire staff that speak English, but you want somebody that's on your side that understands you, understands Vietnamese, and also understands the culture as well. So that is where culture and language intertwine and thus help you managing your staff effectively. So another advantage of having a local Vietnamese girlfriend or wife is that they have a local network, which may include the police, government agencies in the district or in the ward that you're in, and then also maybe even the leaders of that ward, district, or even the city or province. These local networks are very difficult for you to cultivate because you are new to Vietnam or you don't speak the Vietnamese language. Imagine walking into a room or a company and knowing everybody, or even into the city, because these relationships were cultivated by your girlfriend or wife for many, many years. This is extremely helpful in Vietnam because relationships are a big key to getting business and doing business. On the business networking side, your wife or girlfriend may have junior high, high school, university, master's degree programs, and also their community and business networks as well that you may not be able to tap into. For example, the women entrepreneurs of Ho Chi Minh City, WeLin or Women in Leadership groups, and many other women-based groups that you may not be able to explore, but your wife or girlfriend already explored, and she can open up that network to you such that you can do business with them as well. So having the local network and also the business network can be advantageous if you have a strong networker as a wife or girlfriend. So another advantage you would have is to easily open up a locally owned company that takes only 7 to 10 days, and you don't have to get an investment registration certificate. But if you open up a foreign-owned company, then it would take you 2 to 3 months. You would need both the IRC and the ERC as well. So that advantage is huge. Moreover, with a locally owned company, you are not restricted to many of the restrictions placed on foreign-owned companies, such as in the areas of entertainment, infrastructure, medical, education, and many other areas. So with that local Vietnamese wife or girlfriend partner that will hold the business for you, you can open up faster, and you're not restricted to many industries. We shared with you a lot of the pros, but we would be remiss if we didn't share with you the cons as well. So if you were to buy a sports car, that doesn't necessarily going to make you a better driver. You will still need to have business acumen, due diligence, business knowledge, and a great exit strategy in order to run a successful business in Vietnam. Nevertheless, we're going to share with you some of those cons and things that you need to know in order to be successful and doing business in Vietnam. Like I always said, happy wife, happy life. However, the wife may not always be happy, nor the girlfriend, and that may cause a lot of problems. Similar to the stories that we told about the $12 million fraud committed by the ex-wife impacting the husband, or the 7 fake paternity tests by the girlfriend to get child support. So these are stories that we've told already. You should definitely watch those videos by clicking on the right-hand corner to learn about those, as well as some of the cons that we will tell you today. So there are many cultural dynamics that may impact the business as well. So let's not walk through this with rose-colored glasses. Mixing or merging business and personal is similar to mixing durian with pho. Sometimes the mix just does not work. For example, if you are a US-based or American culture, you may be much more direct or systematic and structured, Whereas the Vietnamese culture in business will be less structured or systematic and critical. Thus, there's more room for errors, but there's also room for creativity as well. The US also is separation between work or business and personal, whereby the Vietnamese culture is much more related to intertwining the two. But in a situation where the husband and wife are working together, then they might intertwine all of the information. For example, you're at a dinner and having dinner plans and talking about family. All of a sudden it switches over to the HR plans or the marketing or the finance plans as well. That will really kill the mood for the personal side. So trying not to mix the two will be very helpful. However, it is very difficult because generally Vietnamese culture and business already mixes business and personal together. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, money, which can cause financial and ownership risk. Imagine a disagreement between the two parties, but the spouse is entitled to the company, entitled to the personal assets and the real estate as well. So you're bringing personal matters into the boardroom will really complicate many of the issues regarding employees, shareholders, and profits. But you started it in the first place to minimize risk and get all the pros that we talked about. Now you got to deal with all those issues as well. And I've seen many times whereby the wife or the girlfriend will leverage the personal assets to impact on the business assets as well. So I'm not trying to badmouth the Vietnamese wife or spouse or husband. However, I've seen it happen many times, and this is something that we have to recommend to you so you understand some of the risks involved when you have your spouse have all the ownerships of business and personal assets. So now that the business is in her name, she handles the day-to-day operations, possibly including finance, legal, signing all the documents, stamping, and working with the authorities, but you are focusing on your main strengths, which may be selling, business development, connecting to investors, and other very important items. But in the case that there's a dispute, you may not know exactly the state of affairs on the legal side of the business because you depended on your partner in Vietnam. One thing we would recommend is you definitely fully understand your business from the signing to whatever documents are signed, review the finances every single month, and talk to your spouse about the business just as if you were partners with you so that you have a full understanding of the business, not just the area that you're focusing on. So in the worst case scenario, you build up the company, it's doing really well, and now there's a dispute between you and your spouse. So you could have built up the company, but your name is not on the paperwork, nor the assets. And your best case scenario is that you can settle and get a certain payout for the value of the business. But in the worst case, you are left out in the cold and without a dime. So do you still want to do business with your Vietnamese girlfriend or wife? We've already talked about the pros and cons of having a Vietnamese spouse in your business. Now let's delve into some of the strategies in order to do business with your spouse or without your spouse. So if your partner in love or your potential business partner is your Vietnamese girlfriend, here is some golden advice. Be proactive. So you should just open up an international company, 100% foreign owned, that may take 2 to 3 months to open, but you will have full 100% control of your business. Nevertheless, you should also get her input as well, such as she can be a shareholder or a consultant or an employee of the company so that you will get the benefits of having her work with you, but not the other issues that we talked about. So that's one way to balance between having your Vietnamese girlfriend be a part of your business and value, but also protecting your business 100%. If your Vietnamese business partner is also your Vietnamese wife, then we would recommend you get a prenuptial agreement. It doesn't mean that you're not committed to each other. It just makes it very clear what the business assets are and what your personal assets are. This helps you lay out on the personal side what to do and then the business side as well, because you'll be working together. You'll both be entitled to the properties and also the business as well. So with that kind of relationship in mind, you can get your temporary residence card based on the relative visa or marriage to a Vietnamese citizen, and that way you do not have to do border runs every single 3 or 6 months. If you are of Vietnamese descent, then we highly recommend you get your Vietnamese passport with your national ID, which will allow you to own properties, also have better and favorable business conditions, such as opening up a 100% locally owned business. You can open up bank accounts and many other benefits of having Vietnamese citizenship. So if you're considering one of these paths, we're not just here to advise you, but we will be with you every step of the way. We can draft your prenuptial agreements, form your company, advise on compliance and Vietnamese laws, and also give you a tailored service for your particular business. With over 15 years of experience helping foreigners invest and do business in Vietnam, we are extremely comfortable that we are able to help you and your specific situation. So that's our video for today. Please let us know what your thoughts are. But as always, make sure that you like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment below about your experience working with your Vietnamese spouse or girlfriend, and let us know by click on the bell for notifications. So on behalf of Duong Global, my name is Ken Duong. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.